I am President Barack Obama. If you enjoy our story, please like, subscribe, and share our video with your friends. Thank you. Today, we begin sharing the third installment of the three-body trilogy, the third episode of Deaf God Eternal, the Broadcasting Era. In the seventh year of the broadcasting era, Chen Xian, who had lost his sight due to a massive mental shock, ended 6 years of hibernation. Through corneal stem cell cultivated retina transplantation surgery, he regained his sight. During these 6 years, under the operation of AA, his company had become a giant in the space construction industry. At this time, a large number of refugees had already returned to the cities. They would broadcast the 2 warships and the Earth resistance warriors from the immigration period as heroes. The three-body security forces were executed in large numbers. Besides, all of humanity entered an unprecedented era of tranquility. Some even dared to question the dark forest theory in their minds, believing that the apocalypse would never come. However, this illusion quickly shattered. One night, Chen Xian was awakened by a call from the elderly Ferris. During the call, the old man asked him to look at the night sky outside. Chen Xian saw the magnificent destruction of the Sirius star, which humans had gazed upon for 3 centuries. It was the demise of the three-body world. This was the first time the human world witnessed the destruction of a civilization. According to close monitoring data of the three-body world, humans discovered that the means of destroying the three-body world were identical to the logic curse placed on the Sirius star years ago: stellar impact at the speed of light, causing the star's mass to expand. What sent shivers down the spine was that this burst of light did not come from a star, but from an unknown extraterrestrial civilization spacecraft. This meant that the gods were close to us and could descend at any time. After the destruction of the home star, Proton invited Chen Xian and Logic for a meeting. Through the conversation, they outlined the scene of the three-body star system's destruction. A hole with a diameter of 50,000 kilometers appeared on the surface of the star struck by light power. Soon, the material inside the star spewed out through the hole, resembling a fiery tree growing on the sun. Shortly, the fiery tree grew to the orbit of planetary motion. The three-body world ran through the fiery tree for 30 minutes. When it emerged from the fiery tree, lava covered the entire planet, and all life vanished. The claw-like fiery tree pulled the three-body star tightly until the stellar exploration triggered a massive explosion, turning this civilization into ashes. Like bone ash, it scattered into the boundless darkness of the universe. The debris would form 2 gray pastures around the stable binary system formed by the remaining 2 stars. After this catastrophe, less than 1,000 of the three-body people escaped into the boundless space on spacecraft. In the subsequent conversation with Proton, known as the Tao Tong, Logic once again ignited hope for humanity, because he learned that it was possible to send a safety declaration to the universe, allowing humanity to avoid the dark forest strike. With renewed hope, humanity began various meaningless actions, including a voluntary high-power radio wave emission plan, a conservative plan to return to agricultural civilization, and even a self-destructive plan to poison the New York tap water, along with various insane religious revivals. However, all of this was a punishment for Chen Xian. He decided to take medication to commit suicide. Many would hope that he really died here, and the story would come to an end. However, as people reached this point, with less than half of the narrative completed, Delu arranged an important appointment for Chen Xian. As a turning point in the story, the object of the appointment was Yun Tianming, who had been sent into the enemy's heart years ago. Passing through the darkness of the era marked by the space elevator, Chen Xian boarded a spherical little iron with 3 indicators. Under the close surveillance of the three-body people, on a spherical display opened by Proton, Chen Xian saw Yun Tianming in a field of wheat. Without much greeting, after a brief Q&A that tested the listener's scale, Yun Tianming began to convey information about saving humanity in his own way. This was a dialogue he had carefully designed over 3 centuries. Every word he told was something that the three-body people would not notice, as it had already been published in the three-body world. Thus, after ending this conversation, which was called the Dao Tong, Jin Xian, who returned to Earth, came to a secret meeting room. A group of human elites began to listen together to the 3 fairy tales that would determine their fate. Fairy Tale 1, The Kingdom's New Painter. In a very distant past, there was a kingdom called the Kingdom of No Stories. It had a wise king with 2 sons, Deepwater Prince and Ice Sand Prince, and a daughter named Dewdrop Princess. When Deepwater Prince was young, he went to Wooden Island in the raging sea and never returned. Because Ice Sand Prince had a violent temperament since childhood, the king finally decided to let Dewdrop Princess inherit the throne. Driven by ambition, Ice Sand Prince invited a new painter named True Eye. True Eye could paint anyone he saw into a painting, making them disappear. This kind of painting must be done on snow wave paper from Helsinkang Mosken to have magical power. And this paper must be flattened with an obsidian slab. Through this method, Ice Sand Prince ordered True Eye to eliminate the king, queen, and some ministers. Finally, he was about to paint the princess into the painting in times of danger. At that critical moment, True Eye's master, the ethereal master painter, rushed to the palace. He brought an umbrella that could save the princess. The painter said that he came from Helsinkang Mosken, where other painters once had this skill. They could even paint animals and plants into the painting. But one day, a ghost came flying. 3 great painters successively painted him, but he still stayed outside the painting. Among them, one painter later raised money, hired a magical warrior, crossed the rocket, and killed the wrong dragon. And this umbrella was made from the remains of the wrong dragon. Therefore, hiding under the umbrella could avoid being painted into the painting. After explaining the origin of the umbrella, the painter continued. Captain Wei Changfan and the wet nurse Kwani, escorting the princess, escaped from the palace and headed towards the Taotai Sea to find Prince Shen Shui. As long as Prince Shen Shui returns to the palace, kills the True Eye painter, and burns the painting of the princess, she will be safe. So, carrying a special and precious soap for the princess, the 3 of them set off. When they reached the seaside, the princess learned that it was a sea of death, infested with a type of Taotai fish whose teeth were as hard as diamonds, capable of devouring everything in the sea. The kingdom had a history. Many merchants, for profit, continuously introduced these Taotai fish. Until one day, a shipwrecked merchant ship brought them into this area, surrounding the kingdom of No Story and integrating it with the outside world. After explaining the origin of the Taotai fish, Captain Wei Changfan made a vow to forever protect the princess by the seaside. In the 3rd tale, Deepwater Prince. After daybreak, the princess gazed at Wood Island from a distance and saw a giant figure standing on the island. That was Deepwater Prince. While observing, the princess accidentally saw her soap bubbles from the wooden basin being swept into the water. Surprisingly, they discovered that these bubbles could make the Taotai fish lazily float, rendering them non-aggressive. Using the soap, they finally made their way to Wood Island. When they approached Deepwater Prince, they realized that his height did not change with distance and did not follow the principles of perspective. After recognizing each other as siblings, they returned to the palace, where an intense duel for the throne unfolded between Ice Sand and Deepwater. Due to the inability to perceive Deepwater's relative distance, Ice Sand was at a complete disadvantage. In the end, Deepwater Prince stabbed Ice Sand through the chest, reclaiming the throne. The kingdom of No Story regained stability, and the princess, along with Changfan and Kwani, sailed away to a vast and unexplored world, living a happy life. The story concluded, leaving various experts in the audience perplexed. The multitude of concepts and infinite connections left no one able to decipher the clues in the story. Until one day, Jin Xian and Mei, in the bathroom, successfully deciphered one of the crucial pieces of information hidden in the 3 tales, the light-speed spaceship technology of the Trisolarans. Using this breakthrough, the workgroup found the unique methods concealed in the fairy tales. Through double-layered metaphors and two-dimensional metaphors, they successfully discerned a vast amount of hidden information. For instance, a linguist discovered that Kelsen and Mosken were actually two places in Norway, where there was a massive vortex called the Mosken Great Whirlpool. When Chen Xian and the others passed through the vortex with the help of a helicopter, they understood Yun Tianming's metaphor comparing the vortex to a black hole. So far, 3 survival plans for human civilization have been born. The first shelter plan: construct space cities in the shadows behind the 4 giant planets in the solar system, using planets as shields. Even if the sun is destroyed by a light force attack, the space cities will remain intact. This is a voluntary defense mechanism by humanity and is currently the most favored plan. Dark Domain Plan: issue a cosmic safety statement by transforming the sun into a low-light speed black hole. This is the most difficult plan to accomplish, but once successful, it has the highest safety coefficient. However, turning the solar system into a region of low-light speed darkness remains an unanswered technological challenge. Moreover, even if successful, humanity will be forever trapped in the dark domain, much like the isolated kingdom of no story. Lightspeed Spaceship Plan: the universe is not flat but a huge curved model, and spatial curvature is everywhere. If an engine could be developed to change the spatial curvature in front and behind the spaceship, humanity could create lightspeed spaceships and venture out of the solar system in search of a new home. Unlike the mainstream shelter plan, which aims to provide future generations with the freedom to explore space, Chen Xian Star Ring Company is more inclined towards the Lightspeed Spaceship Plan. However, during the research and development process, an unexpected judgment seemed to descend. Suddenly, global strike alerts echoed worldwide, plunging the entire world into unprecedented fear. The strike alert triggered the largest social upheaval since the Great Migration, with thousands of people scrambling for survival in various launch points. Shockingly, shuttle engines were activated in the crowd, causing more than 10,000 people to perish in the flames of nuclear propulsion. The air was filled with the smell of roasted flesh. This desire for success drove people into collective madness, ultimately quelled by an official statement. Fleet International and the United Nations eventually announced that it was a false alarm. Aside from once again proving the ugliness of human nature, the false alarm incident exposed a batch of secretly developed interstellar ships. People began to contemplate the inequality in the face of death, leading to increased skepticism about the Lightspeed Spaceship Plan in international society. Soon, even greater skepticism arose. During the observation of the dissolution of the 3-body star system, humanity discovered that when the curvature-drive ships entered light speed, they left behind a trail, marking the position of the 3-body star system in the universe. This discovery was the direct cause of the complete demise of the Lightspeed Spaceship Plan. However, Chen Xian did not want to give up. She knew that the development of the Lightspeed spaceship required the escort of a powerful force. Clearly, the only force with the worst intentions was Vader. So, on the day of the shelter plan explosion experiment, Chen Xian and AA found Vader. The 3 of them made a decision: Chen Xian and AA would enter hibernation, and Vader would take over the Star Ring Company, continuing the development of the Lightspeed spaceship. He promised that if the development posed a threat to human life, Chen Xian would be awakened, and she would still hold the highest decision-making power for the project. However, at this moment, Chen Xian could not have anticipated that this promise would make the entire human society pay a painful price. I am President Barack Obama. If you enjoyed our story, please like, subscribe, and share our video with your friends. Thank you. We will continue to share a fascinating story with you every day. See you tomorrow.